If you're worried about your high AI content score, it is currently very hard for you to bypass most AI detectors, but I found a method that works well with Claude AI, which allows us to write more human-like content and reduce our AI detection score. If you have not used Claude before, I highly recommend that you check it out because it's a very, very high quality AI writer. So the first thing that I did was I primed Claude by asking it, how do I write my content so that it sounds more human-like and it does not sound robotic or that it was written by an AI. So essentially what I'm doing here, I'm trying to get some tips and instructions from Claude that will allow me to reduce my AI detection based upon its own knowledge. As you can see here, it gives us a couple of points in which we can follow to help us reduce our AI detection. We can use an active voice, vary your sentence structure, avoid overusing complicated words, use contradictions, include examples, use varied vocabulary, and so on. So once I got those instructions and tips, I didn't just stop there and tell it to write me an article, even though I could have. What I did was I then combined it with my own prompt. So I told it that when it's writing, that you need to include these factors within your content. So you need to include perplexity, burstiness, combine some more longer or more complex sentences alongside shorter, quick, witty sentences. Do not use commas. Do not lecture, focus on writing quality content. Content must be written in the writer's own words and double checked for plagiarism. As you can see, some of these instructions are not specifically for AI detection, but it helps you to write more higher quality content. So include rich and comprehensive paragraphs when writing content, utilize uncommon terminology, research thoroughly, hook readers, and so on. So as you can see, what I did here was I combined my own prompt with the prompt that I got back from Claude to have one super prompt that will hopefully allow me to bypass my AI detection tools. If you would like to use any of the prompts mentioned in today's video, I'll leave those in the description below. So once I combined the instructions from Claude and the prompts that I provided, I then told it to write me a 1,000-word article on how to become a better listener. So this is the article in which we get back. It talks about how to become a better listener by maintaining eye contact, stop multitasking, be present and patient, ask thoughtful questions, and so on. Now, if you actually go ahead and read through this content, it's really well done. It was able to take those instructions and it was able to write us a very high quality, in-depth, and very human sounding article. But of course, that's very subjective. So let's go ahead and actually copy over this content and paste it into originality.ai. When it comes to AI detection tools, originality.ai is definitely one of the hardest AI tools to bypass. So if we're able to get a high score on originality.ai, then that means our content is very well written and very human-like. So let's go ahead and paste in our content into originality.ai, and then we're going to start a new scan. And while that's being scanned, I've also went ahead and ran the same content on writer.ai, and as you can see, it is 100% human generated content as determined by writer AI. But as I mentioned earlier, originality.ai is much harder. So we were able to get a 50% original score and a 50% AI score. Now in these days, this is a very, very good score because it's very hard and it's very rare for you to get a 100% original score. So even though we're getting 50% from originality.ai, I would have very high confidence in posting this article on my website and not being penalized by Google in the future if they do decide to penalize AI content. And keep in mind that that is only the score from originality.ai. When we scanned it on writer AI, it was 100% human generated content. And if we scan this on another AI detection tool like GPT-0, again, as we can see here, it says that this text is likely to be written by a human with a few AI-like sentences. So that's really good news because it's saying that most of the article is most likely to be written by a human. So if you would like to repeat this process for yourself, or if you would like to create another article that is less likely to be detected as AI, just go ahead and copy over the prompts. And again, I'm going to leave those prompts in the description below. And then you want to start a new chat on Claude, paste that in. And then we're going to tell it to follow these instructions and write on an article of whatever topic you have in mind. For this example, I've told it to follow these instructions and write an article on how to start a grocery store. So once that content is completed, let's go ahead and copy it over. And before you scan your content, you always want to go ahead and convert the markdown into HTML. Once you have that content, go ahead and copy that over. And then we're going to do a new scan on originality.ai. And this article is even higher in terms of original score. It is 84% original and only 16% AI. In terms of plagiarism, it should be 0% plagiarized, but I actually didn't check for plagiarism, but that's fine. It's 84% original and 16% AI, which is a really high original score and a really high human generated score. So if you wanted to bypass any AI detection tools, this is the method in which I would use. I've tried the same method on ChatGPT and Bing AI, but unfortunately, the AI detection score was still pretty high. So the only method that's currently working is to use these prompts in Claude, and that is the only way in which you're able to generate content that is more human sounding and that will actually bypass originality.ai. I hope that you guys enjoyed today's video, and I hope that you learned something new. If you did, let it be known by giving us a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Until next time, stay well.